Howdy SEO Moz fans, welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. Today, the exciting conclusion, part 2 of 2 on which link metrics to use. So last week we discussed in depth a ton of the link metrics that are available, what they mean, what they do, how you can interpret them. Today, I want to walk through some of the specific tasks and projects that you're going to be involved in when you're doing SEO kinds of things, and which metrics can help you to accomplish those specific tasks. So first up, let's say I'm doing a high-level SERPs analysis, something like the keyword difficulty tool output report, where it's trying to give me a sense of who's in the top 10, who's in the top 20, why are they ranking there? You know, is it because they're an exact match domain? Do they have a lot of good anchor text? Do they have a ton of links into them? Is it because their domain is important or their page is important? And so we can look at a few key metrics. I like looking at page authority, right, which is that aggregate of all the Moz metrics, and domain authority, and then maybe the number of linking routes and C blocks, just to give me a rough idea of kind of what I'm dealing with. So that high-level SERPs analysis is great when I'm doing like a keyword difficulty report, trying to determine which keywords to go after, whether it's roughly possible for me to be ranking in those sectors. If I want to do some link quality analysis, right? So I'm looking particularly at a link and trying to determine, is this link helping me to rank? Is it potentially hurting me? If I'm looking maybe at a client's website, say I was doing consulting, or I'm a new SEO in an in-house position, I'm trying to analyze whether some links that were built previously are questionable or not. There's some really good ways to do that, and one of my favorites is looking at PageRank versus mozRank and Moz Trust. So normally, right, what you should see is that PageRank and mozRank are pretty close, right? So if PageRank is a 3 and mozRank is like a 4.5, that might be okay. It's a little on the border. If it's a 3 and a 3.5, oh, that's perfectly fine. That's normal. We should expect that. If, however, I'm looking at like a 3 and a, mozRank is like a 5.8, something's fishy, right? Clearly, I mean, Google probably knows about more links than SEO Moz does, and mozRank, boy, for it to be that high and PageRank to be that low, something might be up. Something might be going on where this site is selling links, Google's caught them, they're doing something manipulative, this could be a problem. And then I also like comparing Moz Trust, because a lot of times you won't see PR scores, especially for a lot of new sites and pages. Google hasn't gotten the data there, or they haven't updated PR, but that site's built a lot of links in the meantime. By the way, you do want to be careful of that too when you're comparing PR and MR. But mozRank and Moz Trust, right, if I see like a 5.8 and a 7.2, this is probably a phenomenal link. If I see a 5.8 and a 2.2, that's a bad sign. That usually means that this page, this site or this page has gotten a lot of links, but from a lot of very questionable sources. Otherwise, their Moz Trust should be quite a bit higher. So those types of analyses, along with looking at not just the number of links, but the number of external versus internal links. If it's a lot of internal links, maybe that's boosting up the ranking, but it'll be easier to overcome than a high number of external links. And followed, no followed, right? So if it's a lot of no followed links coming to the site, oh, that's a different story than if all the links are followed. Now, if I'm looking at outreach and popularity, right, I'm trying to say, how popular is this blog? How important is this news website? How big and popular on the web do I think this, forum is, or Q&A site, or community? Then I want to be looking at some of those high-level metrics, but I might want to dive sort of one step deeper and look at, yes, domain authority. I really care about domain metrics here, right? Not individual pages on those sites. So I'm looking at domain mozRank and domain Moz Trust, which do the same thing as mozRank and Moz Trust, but on the domain-wide level. And then I might care a lot about the linking routes and C blocks, because that tells me a raw popularity count, like how many people on the web have referenced this guy compared to other people. Now, if I'm looking and trying to sort by the most helpful links to raise my ranking, say I'm analyzing a set of 50 blogs, and I want to decide who am I going to guest blog for first? Who do I really think is going to be providing that value? Or I've got an opportunity to sponsor or speak at a conference or contribute in some way, and I know that I can contribute the content or whatever I need to get those links. I really care a little bit less about the metrics and a few about these big 3 questions. So I would ask you, before you look at the metrics, to ask yourselves these 3 questions, particularly if you're doing that sort of detail level analysis. Number 1, how well does that page or that site rank? If you search for a few keywords that are in the title tag of this particular page or the homepage of the site, and it doesn't come up in the number 1, number 2 position, that might not be a good sign. Right now, if you search for 4 or 5 keywords that compose a phrase in the title, and it's still not coming up, that's something seriously wrong there. You know, there might be some issue with that site in Google. How relevant and useful is it? Is this site going to send actual traffic? Was the link editorially given? Is it a true citation that represents an endorsement from one site, one page to another? If that's not the case, you might be in trouble in the future. Even if Google hasn't caught it yet, Bing hasn't caught it yet, in the future that might be causing problems. And it's just not worth it. Go spend your time on other links that are editorial, sincere citations. Do the sites and pages it links to rank well? This is a great way to analyze directories or link lists or those kinds of things and say, oh, this looks highly relevant, right? It's a pretty good site. If the pages that it's linking to don't rank well for their keywords, that's a bad sign. If a few of them don't, okay, maybe, you know, everybody links to a few bad apples. But if a lot of them are not ranking well, something's going on there, right? And next, I might look at some metrics like mozRank versus PageRank, as we did above, mozRank versus Moz Trust, the number of links and linking root domains, just to get a sense of these. But those 3 questions, more so than any metric, is going to really answer the question of how helpful will this particular page or site be in raising my rankings if I get a link from. Next, second to last here, is sorting of links. So if I want to do a rough or a raw sort, I've got a bunch of links that I exported from Google, that I exported from a tool that ran that analyzed a bunch of pages and figured out whether there was usefulness. Maybe I use in SEO Moz Labs, right? There's that great tool to help me find all the search queries that I could use to find potential links. I think it's the, what is that called? Oh, I think it's the Link Acquisition Assistant. So the Link Acquisition Assistant, right, might export a bunch of raw lists of pages. And if I want to do some just raw sorting to get a general sense of importance before I start asking these questions, PADA are really good for that. And so is number of linking routes. So inside the web app, you'll see a lot of these. You know, we tend to show at least those 3 metrics on most everything, so you can do a rough sort. Finally, last but not least, if I am doing a deep SERPs analysis, where I really want to know, why does this particular page, why does this particular site rank where it does? Why is this 3 and this 2 and this 4? I want every metric I can get my hands on. And the reason is because when you analyze these things all together in Excel, you can see weak points, strong points. You can get a sense of what Google's using or Bing is using in that particular grouping or algorithmic result to try and determine who should rank higher and lower. And that'll give you a great sense of what you might need to do to accomplish those rankings. All right, everyone, I hope that this 2-part Whiteboard Friday extravaganza has been great for you. Look forward to the comments in the blog. Take care.